Okay, hello guys. So I've recently modded my Realforce from the regular Topre Realforce to Realforce Silent. Prior to that, I was kind of debating for a long time if it's worth the trouble and if I wanna is the benefit really worth it. But so I did a lot of research. But after I modded, then I realized a few more things. So I wanna help out for those people like me that's kind of like interested in or was debating if they should mod their Topre into a Topre Silent. So after that, I know I'll just give you some sound demo, even though I know this is Topre type heaven. This has ABS keycaps, so it will sound a little bit different than Realforce PBT. But this is the only keyboard I have at the moment, so. Okay, so now you do notice it's quieter. So in terms of sound, so yes, definitely Topre Silent is quieter. But so what are the drawback feel? Does it change the feel? So I have to say yes, it does change the feel slightly. And then depends on people, you might or might not tolerate it. For example, when you putting the silence ring into Topre, there's actually a little bit, even though it's very small, there's actually a little bit of thickness to it. So what that does is it reduces the key travel a little bit. So this one, if you assuming say if it's like a 4mm travel, I'm just using a example. So assuming it's say like 4mm travel, this will probably be like 3.5mm. So it reduced the travel like a little bit. But to people who are sensitive to key travel height, they might not like it. I've read on forum that some people hate it. But to me, I think it's still within the acceptable range. And then also, it make you sit at the when you press down, there's a little bit of tactile bump. So it makes it sit really high at the tactile bump. So when you just press a tiny bit, you're hitting a tactile bump already. So this might be good or bad, depends on people. But to me, I don't mind it. So to me, that was okay. Another thing that I noticed, actually, that's the biggest difference that I noticed is Topre. Even though Topre are a little bit smoother compared to Cherry MX, and they have less wobble, like when you go like this, they have a lot less wobble compared to Cherry. They still wobble a tiny bit, but because that ring has a little bit of thickness, so it almost like it shove it in and make the switch kind of like sits really tight when at rest. So when you go like this, it actually doesn't give because they're really snug tightly fit together. So now they actually have almost no wobble. I don't know if that's a thing for you guys. Then yeah. But now the question is, are the modded silent as good as the stock silent ring? So when you buy the stock Topre silent, they by default the slider they cutting a little bit of groove into the they cut a little bit of groove to fit the ring so it to offset the travel height. So the stock silent will have less travel reduction compared to the modded silent because the modded one wasn't meant to be that way. We just do it because it's cheaper. So it actually, so I would assume stock silent will be a little bit better. It's still reduced a little bit, but it's a little bit better than the modded silent. So just keep that in mind. So if you can, in an ideal world, buy the stock silent come with the silent ring, and then if you already own a Topre, you don't want to spend the money, then you can mod it yourself. In that case, it will make sense. So would I recommend modding into silent? For me, I think it's worth the benefits. Like it make it quieter. Also, it make the switch feels more solidly put together. As I mentioned, it doesn't like wobble or anything. So to me, I think it's worth it. But just keep in mind that some people might not like the key travel reduction. But at least they're like reversible. So if you don't like it, you can take them out again. It just takes time. Like for example, like to get out the switch to mod it into silent took me about maybe 3 hours. So if you, but that was the first time of me doing it. So if you already provided, you can probably do it faster. So yeah, so Yep, so that's kind of like my opinion on modding silent or not. And then if you have any questions or comments, just leave me a note. And as always, remember to enjoy the good feeling of oneness with Cop Rubber. See you guys next time. Bye.